Hi, and welcome back to the Knits in the Wild podcast. This is episode 3. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Jen, and I am coming from upstate New York in the Albany area. Thanks for joining today. It's a lovely day today. The sun is out, and I feel like I haven't seen the sun in months. Around here, it's been very gray and gloomy the last couple months. And yesterday was so nice. The high was like 35 or 39 or something, and it was just amazing. So I got to go hiking with a friend, which, as you saw in the clip in the beginning, up in the Adirondacks, and it was just beautiful. So, oh, my cats are hissing at each other, so don't mind that. They like to be in here when I'm in here, so if you hear any cat sounds, that's why. Okay, so today got quite a bit to share, but mostly about spinning. So if you're new, I just learned to spin. My last episode, I talked about my first experience spinning. I took a class at CC's Yarn Shop, which is our local yarn shop here in Albany, and I fell in love with it. It was so much fun. And I got a wheel. So I will share about that in a little bit, but first I wanted to share what I'm wearing. So this is the Home Camisole by Caidree. And I made this last summer with the Fiber Company's Luma base, which is a mix of, let me see if I can remember this correctly, linen, cotton, wool, and I believe silk. So I saved tags. So this is it. A blend of organic cotton, linen, merino wool, and silk. And this is the colorway Marigold. So there's the tag. And I love this yarn. I cannot wait to make another summer garment with this because it has held up beautifully. So I'm not going to take off the cardigan because, so I like this tank top, but it is too big under the arms and it is absolutely huge and I cannot wear it without a cardigan over, which is kind of sad, but I went into detail on my Ravelry page for this item because I had to make a lot of modifications. I added a 2x2 rib instead of the I-cord that is in the pattern because it would have been way too deep and I probably wouldn't have been able to wear it. Same for the back. There's a V-neck in the back too, which comes down so far I have to wear something over top of it. But it actually looks really good with a cardigan over it. And I added a picot edge, which I will show, instead of the I-cord because at the time I was obsessed with picot edging as I had a couple of shawls where I did it. But it's cropped in the front. It drapes really nicely. It's the fabric that this yarn makes is just gorgeous. So I would definitely make another tank or tee out of this. I loved it. And speaking of the Fiber Company, I have not a finished object, unfortunately, no FOs today, but I have been making a lot of progress on my Halu sweater, which I wish it was done, but I'm very close. I have everything done except one sleeve. So I finished this sleeve this week. I finished the body. I actually so what I did was, I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough yarn to lengthen the body because this pattern says to knit the body to 9 inches before you do the ribbing for a total of 11 inches from the underarm to the bottom. And that is too short for me. That is kind of a cropped sweater for me because I have a larger bust size. So that takes up most of the fabric and I end up with a cropped sweater. So I have to lengthen my sweaters to about 15 inches total from the underarm. So I think for this one I did about 14. I have to measure, but I don't think it's 15 because I liked where it was sitting when I tried it on. But what I did was I stopped at 9 inches, and then I did a sleeve to make sure I would have enough to add on the rest of the body. So I finished the sleeve, and then I went back and added on the length of the body that I wanted. And I'm definitely gonna have enough yarn because I have a full skein of each yarns because these are two held double. It is I've talked about this before. It is the Fiber Company's Cumbria fingering held with Rowan's Cashmere Haze. So it makes this beautiful, soft, cozy fabric that I cannot wait to wear. And I have to say, this has probably been the most intricate garment I've ever made, and I'm very proud of it. I cannot wait to wear it. I'm hoping to finish the second sleeve. So I started the sleeve last night. I was able to finish the ribbing and bind off yesterday and start the sleeve last night. So I'm hoping I can get this done within the week because I want to be able to wear it. And the weather here is getting warmer already. This week I believe is going to be in the 40s, which is very unusual for upstate New York. And I know this sweater is going to be super toasty. So I'm hoping I can get away with wearing it for a couple more months. But yeah, I'll show it again. I just love it so much. Look at the details. And with every garment I've made, I like to add a technique or learn a new technique that I have never done before. So with this, it is the bobbles. I've never done bobbles before. And the same little pattern or lace motif is on the sleeve, which is so cute. And these sleeves are like little puffy sleeves, which I've never done before either in a sweater. And I'm really liking it so far. So that is the Halu by Caitlin Hunter. I'm a huge fan of her patterns. They're so gorgeous. Okay. Other than that, I have been knitting on nothing else. That is what I've been working on for the last month, almost. Aside from spinning, so I actually got a wheel. So I will show you my wheel, and I'll just insert this little clip to show you guys my wheel. It's an Ashford Kiwi.
This is my new wheel that I got on Craigslist. I found it used a couple weeks ago. I drove down to the Red Hook area to pick it up. It is a first generation Ashford Kiwi, and it is in pretty good shape for being used. It's a castle style, and it came with 3 bobbins. And right now I have this rainbow tweed wool that I'm spinning that has proven to be pretty challenging. So I'll talk about that more in the podcast. But yeah, I just wanted to film a little clip here of my wheel. And this is where I spin in the living room. But yeah, pretty nice for a used wheel. I'm not sure how old it is. I was reading online that they were produced between 1997 and 2012. So I think it's on the newer end because the woman who sold it said it was about 10 years old. So it's at least 10 years old. So spins pretty good. I stopped at the shop where I took my lesson and got some oil for maintenance so I could put some oil on it. But it's been working pretty well. I'm glad I went the used route because wasn't really sure if I was really going to get into spinning, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money out of the right out of the gate with on a wheel, brand new wheel. So, and plus it's nice to buy used.
I have finished spinning the Jacob that I showed you on the last episode. And that was just amazing to spin with as a beginner. It was so nice. And these are my 2 finished newbie skeins of yarn. Look at they're not perfect. They have a lot of thick pieces, but for a beginner, for somebody's first try at spinning, I think it's pretty good. I'm happy with these. They're so soft and fluffy and light. They feel like woolen spun yarn, and I don't know if I don't know if that's what I was doing, but I realized after I spun those that I was looking into techniques, and what I was doing was short backwards drafting. I pinch in the front with my right hand, and then I pull the fiber with my left hand, pulling it apart, drafting it as I'm spinning. So that technique worked great with the Jacob wool, and I didn't even realize at the time that's what I was doing. I don't know how many yards I have. I did not measure. I don't really know how to measure yet. I have a nitty knotty for winding this up into a skein, but I don't know how much I have. So with this is the first one I did. So I noticed I did it as a 2-ply because I can't chain ply yet. I tried it during the class and I was horrible at it, and I'm afraid to do it again because I don't want to screw stuff up. So I got the little pigtails stuck in the ply, and I think it was a tension issue because my Lazy Kate doesn't have a tensioning a hook or whatever. So I actually ordered another one because the one that came with my wheel looks like it's homemade and it's only got room for 2 bobbins on it. So I ordered a new one from the Woolery, which should be coming next week. And I ordered an extra bobbin so I can do a 3-ply from the Lazy Kate until I learn how to chain ply. So to get rid of these little things, I found I had to see the little, I don't know. So I found I needed to really pull and have a lot of tension on the yarn while I was plying. So the second skein does not have any of those that I can see. And this one is more thick and thin because I was plying it with my first bobbin, beginning of my first bobbin when I first started spinning it. But I really like how it came out. Ended up with 2.5 skeins, and I wound one up into a little ball, the little tiny one I had, and knit a swatch. And it looks so good. I can't believe I spun this yarn. I can't believe this is my first. Look at that. It's beautiful. I am so happy. I'm going to make the fire pit mitts from, if you follow Taylor from Wool Needles Hands, I think I'm going to make her fire pit mitts with these because it would make such cozy mitts. And it's so soft, and it seems like it's going to be very durable. But yeah, I'm really happy with how that Jacob came out, which leads me to tell you that I purchased some more fiber. I'll show you the braid. It's beautiful. And it's this beautiful tweedy rainbow wool. So it says it's 80% American wool, 80% South American wool, 20% viscose, which is the tweed, I'm guessing, from this shop on Etsy called Jakira Farms. They have a lot of beautiful roving and comb top for sale. So I went to spin this with the same technique I was doing with the Jacob, and that did not work. This was extremely hard to draft. It kept breaking and slipping, and it doesn't even feel like it's that slippery of a yarn. Like, I'm not sure what breed this is, but I was so frustrated the other night while I was working on it and ended up with like these, some parts seem overspun, and then these huge, thick and thin, like huge, I don't know. I'm frustrated. Which it's pretty, but it's not what I'm going for. But okay, I'm a beginner. I need to give myself a break. But man, I don't want to waste this beautiful wool. But I really need to practice that short forward drafting because the short backwards drafting was not working with this. So please, tips. If you have any tips, I could use some until I just don't want to ruin it. So speaking of fiber, I ordered some more. I have a problem. But I got some Nest fibers. I joined their fiber club because I wanted to get some beautiful hand-dyed fiber. This is their Forage colorway from their club in October. And it is mixed BFL, which feeling it feels more like the Jacob. So I'm hoping that I will have an easier time with this when it comes time to spin it because, man, I don't want to ruin it. I want to be able to make a nice yarn, but the colors are just, I'm not going to take it out of here because I don't want to stuff it back in, but beautiful colors. So, another acquisition I just got would be the Spinning Bible, the Fleece and Fiber Sourcebook, which I've seen everybody recommend this. And I decided to order it because I wanted to have a nice resource for spinning. And I've just looked through it briefly. It looks very comprehensive and it's going to be a very good resource. So I recommend this to anyone who was getting into spinning. Rewind back to knitting. I'm swatching for the next project, which I talked about. I think my next project is going to be The Forager by Melody Hoffman. And I showed you guys the Platelope and my drops brushed alpaca silk finally arrived. So I started to swatch. I haven't gotten very far, but so far I like the fabric. It's black, but it has little specks of color in it, which I love. And I think that's going to make a very pretty garment. If you can't tell, I like rainbow speckles and colors in my yarn. So that's the swatch for the Forager. I guess I can also show you some fabric that I picked up yesterday at Joann's, just a spur of the moment thing. But I got this Celestial Stars bundle, which I thought was really pretty. Just to have for the stash. I think they would make pretty linings for bags, but I don't have any plans for that right away. So I think that is it for today. I have plans today to go outside and ride my bike because the sun is out and it's going to be in the 40s. And I miss riding my bike. I haven't been out there since New Year's Day. I got to ride outside. But yeah, so I hope everyone is having a lovely Sunday or lovely day, whatever day you're watching this. Thank you so much for joining and for following along with my new spinning adventures. Um, yeah, so have a great week and I'll see you next time. Bye.